Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. I have a little bit of something for us to get into. Um, this here is going to be a story about how a woman took out both of her ex-husbands. With that being said, let's get into it.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar, where you can drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual interest rate bond offerings and see how our company has become an emerging leader in the oil and gas industry. In 2024, Phoenix Energy rose to become the 11th most prolific oil and gas operator.
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Gizella K. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today's case takes us to Florida. I feel like we've been looking at a few Florida cases lately, hey?
Yep.
This one is like, whoa, sorry, what? So a woman is accused of killing both of her ex-husbands in one day. That's the headline. So we're gonna look at everything that we know so far, but we're gonna watch a press conference as well. I will start us off with a clip to show you, just so you can picture the houses and things where this happened. Here we go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can see one of them behind us here now. Those familiar with the situation tell us this house is where it all started, and neighbors say they could hear it. Tonight, investigators across Hillsborough and Manatee counties are still trying to answer the question why, after 51-year-old Susan Avalon allegedly shot and killed both of her ex-husbands within a 4-hour span.
We don't know why yesterday was the day that she decided to take this action.
It all started around 12:40 Wednesday along the 1200 block of East Ryerson Avenue in Tampa, where she allegedly shot and killed her ex-husband inside his home. Neighbors we spoke with today saying they heard the gunshots.
And I was sitting back there with my mom, and we was eating breakfast, and then we heard one gunshot, and a couple of seconds later, we heard 3 more.
Investigators believe Avalon then drove to Chatham Light Run in Bradenton, where she disguised herself as a food delivery driver before knocking on the door of her other ex-husband's house.
She apparently stole broccoli soup from Panera Bread Company and then disguised herself as a food delivery person.
Shooting him as soon as he opened it. He later died at the hospital.
It doesn't get any more brazen than
Went after both
In
ex-husbands.
Citrus County, where investigators say they watched her try to discard evidence.
detectives let her know that they are there to speak about her ex-husband. She says, which one?
Tonight, 2 homes broken.
Right now, I think we have about 5 children involved between the 2 ex-husbands.
And the families inside them still trying to understand why.
This is devastating. It's devastating to these families, and I wish she would have been thinking about that before she committed these acts.
Because there's children involved as well. So we will be watching the very well done press conference together, but first I'm going to go through a bit of a timeline here so that when we listen to the press conference you would have already heard a lot of the details once, so then you can really pay attention and hear exactly what the Manatee County Sheriff Wells is saying. So Susan Erica Avalon is the suspect in this case. She is 51 years old and she was living in Citrus County, Florida. She'd been married twice in the past, and she had 5 children with her first husband. They were married for approximately 12 years. So her first marriage ended in July of 2013. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, damn, woman, how long are you going to carry resentment around or whatever, what's going on there? We'll look at potential motives. But you got divorced in July of 2013. and then you decided, allegedly, on December 17th of 2025 that you were going to kill that ex-husband, but not only him, your other ex-husband too. So she then married hubby number 2, and she had 2 children with him. She's accused of killing both of them on December 17th of 2025, and at the time, she was living with her boyfriend. So the boyfriend must be like, what? That must be so scary, right? Okay, so, wow. Now let's get into a bit of the timeline, right? So firstly, I did want to say that the victims' names, which I haven't seen this often because they're adult males. One is 54 years old. That's one thing they reported. But the victims' names have been withheld from the media due to Marcy's law, and that's what the sheriff said. So I'm doing my best to honor that. There are some clips out there with their names, so it's not hard to find. But the thing is, the sheriff is saying their names are being withheld from the media due to Marcy's law. Marcy's law is a Florida constitutional amendment that expands rights for crime victims, including the right to prevent disclosure of information that could be used to locate or harass them or their family. In this case, law enforcement agencies like Manatee County Sheriff's Office and the Tampa Police Department are withholding the official names of the 2 deceased ex-husbands under Marcy's law protections. This is to safeguard the privacy and safety of surviving family members, particularly the approximately 5 children from the marriages. I think it's actually 7. I think she had 5 children with one and 2 with the other. But okay, one of whom, a 15-year-old daughter, was present during the shooting in Bradenton. And before we dive into that, yeah, that 15-year-old is apparently the suspect's own daughter too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yet she was willing to go to the house and shoot this ex-husband. That's what she's accused of doing, while one of the daughters, was in the house. Isn't that just so horrific? Kathy Mama Bears,
It's
happy
sick,
holidays
but
to
it's
all. Really
weird.
proud to be a part of this great group. Thank you so much for being a member for 6 months, Kathy. Okay, so because they're not naming the victims, we have to refer to them as husband number 1 and husband number 2, and it gets a little bit complicated. That's why I wanted to go through this little timeline first before we watch the press conference, because she is accused of shooting husband number 2 first, which is interesting because husband number 2 worked in law enforcement, or formerly worked in, he was involved at some point in his life in law enforcement. So it's like she took out the cop first and then went to the other ex-husband and is accused of shooting him. Both died. So in one day, 2 ex-husbands dead, right? So on December 17th of 2025, in the morning, authorities believe that Susan first traveled to ex-hubby number 2's house in Tampa, Florida. The home showed signs of forced entry at the back door. The victim was found shot multiple times and pronounced dead at the scene. Now here's the thing. They didn't initially they weren't even thinking about that. They had neighbors call when she had shot the next husband, hubby number 1, the second person she shot that day, allegedly. Okay? They had called the police, and they were actually just going to talk to her about that. And then when they said to her, we're here to talk about your dead ex-husband, she said, which one? And then they said, oh, crap, what do you mean? Oh, my word, how many does she have? She's got 2 ex-husbands, let's go check the other one's house. When they went to the other one's house, he was found dead too, and they were all very, very shocked. Okay? Thank you, Beth Cooper. So, in the morning, she goes to hubby number 2's house. The law enforcement guy shoots, he's found with multiple gunshot wounds and pronounced dead at the scene. Shortly before 3 p.m., she then traveled to a Panera Bread restaurant approximately 1.5 miles from the second victim's home. She stole a customer's order, which is reported to be broccoli soup. I think she didn't care what she was stealing. And so she got it from the pickup counter. This was now captured on surveillance video. And she drove to ex-husband number 1's home in Bradenton. She posed as a delivery driver. She wore a mask and a gray sweatshirt, so she pretty much pulled a Brian Walsh. They said she had like a surgical mask on, just like gray sweatshirt, and yeah, and they could see you on the surveillance, ma'am. Yeah, okay. And so she knocked on the door, and when her ex-husband, 54 years old, opened the door, she shot him in the abdomen. Now, many of the reports will say that there were 3 shots fired. The neighbors also heard it, and they were the ones that called 911. The 15-year-old daughter was in the house, and he had actually been able to talk to the police initially. He didn't die on the scene. He succumbed to his injuries at the hospital. Shame. but he was able to tell police that he thought that his ex-wife did it. So the second victim's daughter was in the home, age 15, and heard the gunshots. And if you look at this little screenshot at the bottom here, they said, I want you to understand how traumatized she is. The Manatee County Sheriff Wells said, of the 15-year-old, who is also Susan Avalon's daughter. Whoa, okay. So when the 15-year-old looked out the window, she observed the suspect's vehicle. She saw what she was wearing. I don't think she knew at the time that that's my mom. She just told police the silver car. She described it. They believed it was a Honda Odyssey, and what she was wearing was a gray sweatshirt. It matched, the Panera Bread surveillance and all of that. And so at approximately 3 p.m., Manatee County deputies responded to reports of a shooting at the Bradenton home. The victim, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, including to the abdomen, was transported to a hospital. Before succumbing to his injuries, he identified his ex-wife, Susan Avalon, as the possible shooter. Well, okay, so using the daughter's description, surveillance footage, license plate readers, tracking travel across the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, please. The MCSO identified Susan Avalon as the primary suspect. Detectives located her at her Citrus County home, where guess what she was doing? When they got there, she was busy cleaning her Honda Odyssey, which people had described, including the 15-year-old. There she had the vehicle that they thought she would have, and she was busy cleaning it with bleach and rags. Wow. Barbara North said, happiest of holidays to Gitler, the Wonder Woman who guides us through some tough cases, and to our supermodels at all the Grizzlies. Thank you so much, Barbara North. Thanks for being a member for 15 months. Now detectives confronted her as she's busy cleaning her car with bleach about her ex. They're like, hello, we are here to talk about your ex-husband's death. And she says, which one? Her live-in boyfriend then told investigators that she had recently located the Bradenton victim's address, which is hubby number one's address, and made an out-of-character statement expressing love in case something happens. So she's like, I love you, just letting you know in case something happens. And he was like, what the hell is that about? And so he says that she returned home in a gray sweatshirt and showered fully clothed and made derogatory remarks about both ex-husbands. So, wow. Pernille says, wait, the whole car or only the mats? You mean like Matthew Paul? Did she actually wash the car or just wipe it like Matthew Paul? If you missed that trial, it's always there for you to catch on the replay, right? Thank you, Earthbound. No, man. Now, detectives then went to check on her other ex-husband based on her statements of which one, and they found him deceased in his home. On December 17th, 2025, the same day, Susan Avalon was arrested at her home and initially charged, and she's still only facing this charge right now while they work on everything. She's charged with second-degree murder in Manatee County. On December 18th of 2025, there was a press conference that was held where prosecutors announced intent to pursue a grand jury indictment for first-degree murder in Manatee County, and they intend to pursue the death penalty against her. Wells said his office's ongoing investigation is focused on finding the murder weapon and searching Avalon's vehicle for evidence, so it sounds like they don't have that at the moment either. Okay, so disputes with the husbands. I just want to see what other clip I've got here for you. Oh yeah, we're going to watch the press conference. I just want to show you quickly what the neighborhood said as well.
We knocked on a few doors in the Tampa neighborhood.
I was like, oh, wow. Like, it gets me the goosebumps.
That's where I met Escarlin Cotorial, who told me what she heard.
We heard one gunshot. A couple seconds later, we heard 3 in a row. And we kind of put the music down. We were like, those were gunshots.
These investigations are active and ongoing and will continue.
See? So this is our first conversation about this case because the investigation is still active and ongoing, and they haven't even charged her yet with ex-husband number one's murder. And she's only right now charged with, so she must be smiling there in jail thinking, I'm only charged with second-degree murder. That's still bad, but you know what I mean? Like, if you look at her mugshot, look at it. She looks quite pleased with herself. What do you think? That's a smirk. She's smiling. Wow. Okay. So let's have a look at what was going on here based on what we know so far. So disputes with ex-husband number 1. To recap, she was married to ex-husband number 1 for approximately 12 years. They got divorced in July of 2013. They had 5 children together. There was prolonged and contentious custody battles which ensued, ultimately resulting in the children residing primarily with the dad. See, now that would be her issues, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, what a way to prove yourself, woman. You're gonna go and shoot them with the children in the house, or at least one child, your daughter. Whether she knew that or not, I don't know. But the sheriff did say this is so brazen. I mean, at that time, 3 p.m. as well, is when the children would be coming back home from school. It's a busy time, and she just went there around that time, right? So, Susan only had supervised visitation rights. A 2017 court filing by ex-husband number one's attorney says that he described an incident during a supervised visitation where Susan allegedly experienced a mental breakdown involving ranting and screaming. She owed him $4,000 in child support, and $200 had a deadline coming up. There's like a court hearing that was just about to come up. So it's part of the factors here, right? And so if she didn't pay those $200, she would face a driver's license suspension. Now, in 2019, while living in Hillsborough County, Susan Avalon filed a petition for a domestic violence injunction against Scott. Sorry, I'll put his last name there. DS, alleging threats, and the petition was denied for lack of probable cause. So she went all out. She said that he was, and I mean, we don't know. I don't know if it's true or not or what, but she filed it. There was no probable cause, and she said that this ex-husband at the time, then was her husband, was like choking her and with drawers, and then trying to poison her and the kids, and then all sorts of things. She went all out, and the judge still at that point found there was no probable cause, no evidence of anything she was saying, and both ex-husbands say she's like out of her mind, you know? So disputes with ex-husband number 2, the one she shot first. Now, he had a law enforcement background. Do I know his age? I don't know his age. They had 2 children together, and court records indicate ongoing personal disputes, including custody-related issues. Oh dear, same issues. In 2016, he filed a DV petition in Hillsborough County, and stating in handwriting that he believed that she suffered from mental illness. He alleged that she had repeatedly asked him and his father to kill her first husband. Do you guys remember that case that I covered kind of recently, which was the Sarah, is it Hartfield or Hartman? Hold on. Do you remember that one that married 5 times? And she'd also asked one of her husbands, I think it's Hartfield, right? She'd also asked one of her husbands to kill the ex. It just reminds me so much of that case, right? My goodness. The crafty RN said Sheriff Hicks said they're going to upgrade to first degree and ask for the DP. Yeah, I did just say that in a previous slide, but yes, indeed, that's what they're planning to do. So she had asked this second husband, which is now ex-hubby number 2 and victim 2, to go and kill the first husband. She had also allegedly threatened to kill him on numerous occasions, including statements such as, "You deserve to be dead and I should slit your neck." He eventually got her evicted from the
Get
property.
crazy.
Oh my word. Okay, so in 2004, if you dig even deeper, Susan, according to court records, had been arrested on a child abuse charge. I'm just seeing red flags everywhere, right?
Yeah, this woman's got problems.
Wells also said that Avalon had prior arrests related to child abuse and custody disputes dating back to 2004, including a case in Virginia, while other cases in Tampa and Pasco County were later
Other
dropped.
cases.
According to WTSP, Avalon reportedly has 5 children. Now, here they say 5 children between her 2 ex-husbands. So it could be that she has 3 with the one and 2 with the other. There's multiple reports, not much information on that. She either has 5 or 7 children. Either 5 with hubby 1, 2 with hubby 2, or 3 with hubby 1, 2 with hubby 2. So, and doesn't have custody of the kids in both scenarios, and owes child support. Okay, so she's currently being held at the Citrus County Detention Facility, and please tell me if you're Floridian, am I saying this right? Inverness. Is it called Inverness? In Florida. Investigators from multiple agencies are working on the case and they are busy preparing all the charges. So she's currently charged with second-degree murder in connection with the fatal shooting of her first ex-husband. No charges have been filed as of yet in Hillsborough County in Tampa, which would be for the ex-husband that she shot first, which is the guy with the law enforcement background. So she might face, at the end, I would assume, 2 counts of first-degree murder charges, and the Manatee County Sheriff has said that in their jurisdiction, yes, they're going to be seeking the death penalty against her. He said it doesn't get any more brazen than this. This is a very active neighborhood. 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday, kids coming home from school, she didn't seem to care. Wow. Okay, so before I show you the press conference, let me just quickly show you the map. Okay, well, we've got to do a little bit of map time, right? Just so we can picture it before we get to this press conference, just so you can see the areas as well and how far she traveled, right?
I'll be right back in a second.
Gidge says, thank you, G, for always giving us such great content and informative videos. You're a hard worker. We appreciate you. Oh, FKA Roro. Thank you so much for that message. I really appreciate it and your support. Okay, so she lived in Citrus County. And so she traveled from Citrus County in a Honda Odyssey. These are the allegations, right? They say they've got surveillance along the way, and I'm sure they've got plenty, and they're working very hard to get surveillance of her all over the place. So she had traveled to the 1200 block of Frierson Avenue. And so she went there to Tampa, where she's accused of killing, which they didn't know about at the time, right? Until she said which one. Then they went to this address to check. Of killing ex-hubby, the most recent ex-husband number 2, was around here, right? This Tampa area. And then she's accused of getting back in her vehicle and continuing south all the way to this Panera Bread, walking in there with a grey sweatshirt and a surgical mask, which was caught on surveillance, and just grabbing food off the pickup counter. And then driving from there to ex-husband. They got divorced in 2013. And it's on this Chatham Light Run Road. And she went there and posed as a delivery driver. And as soon as he opened the door, shot. 3 shots were fired, is what neighbors reported. And he was shot in the abdomen, survived for a little bit, but succumbed to his injuries at the hospital. And it's at this house where the 15-year-old was in. Now, just a YouTube disclaimer, I'm not showing any specific addresses. This is all public record, and it's very vague. Broad, just areas, just so we can understand how far the suspect traveled to commit these alleged homicides on December 17th of 2025, right? Okay, so we have that, and now I'd like to show you this press conference. I just want to make sure that it's boosted for you so that you can hear it nicely. And Sheriff Wells from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, he did this press conference. So he tells the story so well, and now that we've, briefed ourselves on what was going on here, we can at least now follow, because I had to listen to this. The first time I listened to this, I'm like, wait, what? And then who? I'm like, no, and then what happened? So now we have a good idea, and now we can just pay attention.
I just want to go over some events that happened yesterday afternoon. So yesterday at about 2:55 p.m., we received a call of a shooting that took place in the Heritage Harbor neighborhood here in Manatee County, which is right off of 064. Deputies arrived within just a few minutes. The victim at the time is still alert and is speaking to us. And one of the questions that the deputies asked him is, who could have done this to you? And he says, possibly my ex-wife. So the detectives arrive on scene. We start the investigation. The only other person that was in the house at the time of the shooting was the victim's 15-year-old daughter. She does not see the shooting. She hears shots being fired. There were a total of 3 shots fired. The victim was shot once in the abdomen. She looks out the window.
Okay, important. See, we've got to go over it again because there's a lot of media reports out there and they say, yes, 3 shots were fired, and now they say he was shot multiple times in the abdomen. So the sheriff just said that the victim...
Tap screen, please.
Exhibit number 1 was shot once in the abdomen. And so had survived for some time. You know, police, the paramedics and everyone came out there to try to help him, took him to a hospital, but he succumbed to his injuries.
She sees a vehicle, which is a Avalon. It's a silver Honda Odyssey vehicle. I'm sorry, it's an Odyssey. So she sees this vehicle driving off. Now I want you to understand how traumatized she is. She has no idea what's going on, but she's able to give us this information, and she also is able to tell us that the person that got into that car was wearing a gray sweatshirt and a mask. Detectives really start to dig into what happened, and what they learn is the suspect arrives at the location with Panera Bread food. There's some broccoli soup and some other items, and when this victim opens the door, the suspect starts to fire immediately. So they go to a local Panera Bread location, which is about 1.5 miles from the scene, and they see the suspect enter the Panera Bread, go to where the food delivery stand is located, where Uber Eats and DoorDash, goes to that location at Panera Bread, grabs some food, and leaves. Doesn't pay for it. It's not hers. She just decides this is going to be her way to the front door. We have a license plate reader that picks up the suspect's car. So the detectives start to dig, what kind of car does the ex-wife have? Now, mind you, the suspect and the victim have been divorced 11 years. There are some custody issues involved in this divorce long ago. There seems to be issues with child support. The suspect owes the victim about $4,000 that we find out in child support. So she becomes our primary target. And she, ironically, owns a silver Honda Odyssey. We pick her up coming across the Skyway on LPR. We pick her up on LPR heading back to Citrus County, which is where she lives. We pick her up in Hernando County after the shooting. So we travel to this location in Citrus County. Now the suspect is Susan Erica Avalon. She's the ex-wife of our victim. Like I said, 10 years, 11 years. She lives in Citrus County. He lives in Manatee County. Really no law enforcement interaction between the two that we can find. So we get to the house in Citrus County and we see her car. The car that we believe is the vehicle involved in this homicide. We sit waiting for Citrus County to assist us. We're writing the search warrant, doing all the necessary paperwork that we have to do to be able to go into this home and talk to the suspect. She comes out. She comes out of the house with bleach and cleaning rags. Gets into the...
Really?
Not the way to exit the house when the police arrive after you allegedly
Really,
shot
ma'am?
your two ex-husbands. She's like, oh, hey, carrying bleach and rags. Like, what? Somebody asked, what is LPR? License plate readers. So there we go. Joanna Newberg. LPR, license plate readers. They could, track the movements with that, with surveillance footage, witness accounts. I mean, even at the Panera Bread on surveillance and stealing food and pretending to be a delivery driver, there's a lot. There's a lot here. And I hope we can see this trial, depending on how she pleads, right? And they're still working on charges. As I say, they've only so far charged her with second-degree murder, but they intend to charge her with first-degree murder and seek the death penalty for the Manatee County case. And then they're still working on charges for the Tampa case as well.
Silver Odyssey and begins to wipe down the car. We approach her. Detectives let her know that they are there to speak about her ex-husband. She says, which one? We only know of one. She starts to make comments that he's a child abuser, he's a molester, just talking about all these problems that she's had with this ex-husband. She thinks we're there. She thinks my detectives are Hillsborough County detectives. Detectives are trying to figure out exactly what she's talking about, where she's going. They talked to her live-in boyfriend, who says that recently she found the location of our victim. She told him yesterday that in case something happens to her, that she loves him, and she just wanted him to know that. He said that was kind of out of character for her. We started to dig into this second ex-husband that we know nothing about.
Well, see, I mean, the cops arrived there, and they're ready to now talk to her about the shooting of her first ex-husband. But because she comes out of the house with bleach and rags, she's cleaning a car, and they ask her about, we're here to talk about your dead ex-husband. She says, which one? And she assumes that they're coming from the county where the second ex-husband was shot. Wow, she really talked herself into a corner, right? Pernille said, oh, wow, embarrassing. Mm-hmm.
Very
She
embarrassing.
was married again after the marriage to our victim, and that this ex-husband lives in Tampa. So we send detectives to Tampa. We have Tampa PD look for this location that we've determined in Hillsborough County. Tampa PD goes to this location, and the person who lives there, this ex-husband, doesn't answer. We make contact with them again. We say, hey, we're hearing that she's got issues. She's got beef with both these ex-husbands. Please, search hard. They do. They find that there's damage to the rear door. Tampa PD goes into this residence in Tampa. This second ex-husband has also been shot and killed. And what we find out as we're talking to the live-in boyfriend is that when she returns home, she is wearing that gray sweatshirt that we see on the camera. She goes into the shower with her clothes on. She doesn't say anything to him about killing her two ex-husbands. She just tries to clean up and get rid of any evidence inside the car that she can before we finally detain her. We don't know why yesterday was the day that she decided to take this action. But what we believe happened is that she left Citrus County that morning. She traveled into Hillsborough County. She killed the first victim, which is her second ex-husband. She came across the Skyway into Manatee County. She went to Panera Bread, where she took the items that we discussed and went to her second ex-husband's, or her first ex-husband's home, the second victim, and knocked on the door and shot him. And that's what we know right now. So we are waiting. We're working with the Tampa PD. They are investigating their homicide. Our detectives are working with them to make sure that we have all the information they need, and they have any information from us that they need. So we're still working this. It's an active investigation. She's been charged with second-degree homicide with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. I don't know what Tampa is going to charge her with. We will be seeking the death penalty with first-degree homicide charge on her. We'll work with the state attorney to convene a grand jury to see that happens. But that's where we're at right now.
So today's date is December 21st of 2025, and this happened on December 18th. 18th is the press conference, yes? And the shootings happened on December 17th of 2025, so it's just a few days ago. So it's a very new developing case, and I'm going to be following this, and eventually when these charges, first degree murder charges, and they're seeking the death penalty and all of that, eventually there'll be documents, and this is Florida, Sunshine State, of course, so maybe we could see some body cam, police interviews, all of that at some point as well. So I definitely would like to follow this. If you would like to as well, then let me know in the comments.
Any questions?
So Avalon is accused of shooting and killing both of her
Yes.
husbands yesterday.
Susan Avalon is accused of killing two of her ex-husbands yesterday. First in Hillsborough County, and then coming into Manatee County and killing our victim.
The media's like, wait a minute, so you're telling us that this woman killed both ex-husbands on the same day? Yes, that's what she's accused of.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hectic. I mean, if she took a break for a day or two, cool off period, and killed somebody else, she'd be a serial killer. You know what I mean? Oh my word, this is so hectic. And I do think that part of, I would speculate, part of her motive would be, of course, the upcoming court dates for her not paying child support. She owed $4,000 to the one husband. Who knows what she owed to the other one? Haven't found that out yet, right? And also knowing that she had to pay $200 and otherwise she'd lose her driver's license. She'd have a suspended driver's license. I tried to look that, did she work? Like, what did she do? I can't find anything. Can't find if she worked or not. Her Facebook page is still up.
Do you have any idea? I know you talked about child support. They were estranged. Any idea why she might have done this?
Yeah, I don't know why yesterday was the day. We know that she had a current court hearing with our victim in October about child support. She was not paying the child support that she was court ordered to pay. Like I said, she owed about $4,000 in back child support. I think she was supposed to pay $200 before a certain date in December where they were going to suspend her driver's license. But other than that, we don't really know.
You said that they're...
And wait till we find out exactly what that date is. Imagine if it was December 18th. Do you know what I mean? And then off she goes on December 17th. I know some of you are complaining about the sheriff sitting down. I like it a lot. It's like listening to an uncle telling a story. I just think he tells the story so well. It's just like, I was on a walk initially when I listened to this, and I'm like, oh my word, you could just like visualize everything he's saying and like this whole timeline, and like, wait, what? So you went there and you're like, listen, we're here to talk about it. And she's like, wait, which one? And she's got her bleach and her rags, and like, my goodness, she's gonna be so, she's innocent or proven guilty, okay, in a court of law. I just mean like she's probably gonna be found so guilty because they have so much evidence. If she, of course, committed these crimes, because. Wow, surveillance and stolen food. They should charge her with that too. You stole from Panera Bread. And then driving around, allegedly killing both ex-husbands on the same day, and with one of her daughters in the house. That still is just so shocking.
There was nothing that you could find at least around any law enforcement interaction with the husband and her ex-husband. Does she have any sort of history?
We do have some prior cases. She had a case in Virginia, and we'll get that to you. We back in 2004, she had a child abuse arrest in Virginia, and she had some cases dropped that were child abuse related in Tampa and Pasco County. But other than that, nothing really extensive. It was all related.
Sorry.
To child custody and some type of child abuse cases that she had going on at the time with her ex-husbands.
Child abuse cases. Wait. Hey! Don't do that. We want to just pause him and not like that. Hold on.
18-year-old.
There we go. Wow. So see, from 2004, as we discussed, child abuse cases. I mean, that's already bad enough, and there were multiple cases.
Notice they said child abuse cases, not child abuse case. This woman here is all sorts of problems.
So some were dropped, of course, and I don't think she served any time when nothing happened from that. She's got 2 ex-husbands. She had
I'll be
either
right
5
back.
or 7 children between the 2 of them, and they had custody. She had supervised visitation rights. You know, if it was one ex-husband, you'd be like, you know, I know everyone would be thinking, well, did he do anything that she said that he did? Was he an abuser? What did he do? Even though I don't think it's fair on the victim, but you never know. You're like, okay, but 2? That's a pattern. Like, twice now, you have supervised visitation, okay, and you're not paying child support. Both your exes have an issue with you. That is so hectic. Oh my goodness. Equestrian said, I cannot believe it's been a year already. I love being part of this community. Everybody's awesome. Love being a grizzly. Man, happy 1-year grizzly anniversary.
Her child.
It was.
I'm going to ask how brazen this
I'll go
crime
back a
was.
bit, yeah?
And some type of child abuse cases that she had going on at the time with her ex-husbands.
And was the 15-year-old her child?
It was.
I'm going to ask how brazen this crime was that happened in broad daylight in Manitou County, 3 p.m., people were around.
It doesn't get any more brazen than this. This is a very active neighborhood. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Kids coming home from school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of activity, as you could imagine, right, in that area. So she didn't seem to care.
And
Damn. Also, sarcasm.
Yeah,
I
she
think
didn't
it's a
care.
little more personable with him sitting down, and he seems calmer than most during a press conference. And it's not like he's patting himself on the back, you know what I mean? We see that a lot at the press conferences when it's like an award ceremony little bit. I know you guys then complain a lot about that. I'm like, well, this isn't like that. And you know what I like? That he spoke to the media. This might not have been like an official press conference. It's probably just a media briefing, like, sure, come into my office and sure, I'll talk to you. I'll let you know what happened. And it was a day after the crimes happened. So I give Sheriff Wells here some credit, even though I know it might not be the style all of you like. I'm just appreciative that there was a press briefing and that he shared all these details in the way that he did. I think it was some good storytelling. And if I had to make a side note, okay, I do like how his watch matches his ring. Okay. Random information. Now we've still got just a few minutes left of this press conference. You can just hear how the media is like, okay. And then so what? Like really trying to wrap their mind around, like, she did what now? And she had child abuse cases? And this is so brazen. Yes, it is. Broad daylight. Oh my goodness.
and on top of that, there's another, alleged homicide too. Have you seen anything like this in your career?
Nothing like this. Nothing that's really like domestic related where a wife or a husband just decides that he's going or she's going to end the lives of 2 people that they once loved. Nothing like this.
Do you know where this happened? The other in Tampa, the other husband, where that was?
I don't know the exact location. We want to respect Tampa's investigation, so they would have all that information for you.
Does the investigation in Tampa have any role in what kind of charges you guys file?
No, there'll be separate investigations. We will ask the state attorney, like I said, to convene a grand jury and to go after first-degree murder charges. We believe this is premeditated. She knew what she was doing. It was planned, and she came here to kill her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Is Evelyn in custody in Manatee County, Citrus County, wherever is she?
She's in Citrus County right now.
Until she'll be next.
Exactly. It's different, to say the least. This is bizarre. This is not something you would expect, especially in a neighborhood, like I said, that's so active. So many people around. We've got video cameras of her coming into the community, leaving the community. The time stamps are solid, and she didn't seem to care about that. She did have on, like I said, like a surgical mask. She was trying to hide her identity somehow, but it didn't work.
Sheriff, can we just talk about the bold facts that
Somehow she was trying to hide her identity somehow, like Brian Walsh, shopping at Lowe's. My goodness, with these little masks on, we can see it's you, dude. Same here. They can probably see. I don't have the footage. I haven't seen the footage. Somebody asked if Tampa did a press conference. Not that I've seen. And I do wonder what evidence they have there. Like, is it more difficult, or are they maybe they're just still collecting ring cams and dash cams and surveillance footage around that area? This one, because she went to the Panera Bread Company first and stole food and then went to pose as a delivery person, that is why I think this was like, oh my word, yeah, we're naming her. She killed this ex-husband, right? She's accused of this, and we're going to seek first-degree murder charges and the death penalty. So that's in Manatee County. The other one is in Tampa, and that would be actually the first person that she's accused of shooting that day, and that was her second or more recent ex-husband, the one that has law enforcement experience as well.
This has, I mean, how many families are in?
I mean, we have, right now, I think we have about 5 children involved between the 2 ex-husbands. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. I mean, this is devastating. It's devastating to these families, and I wish she would have been thinking about that before she committed these acts.
I know you said where the deputies there that she thought they were from Tampa area. I guess, how has the interaction been with her? Has she been cooperative?
She's not talking now. She's not saying anything to our detectives. We are getting the information we need from her living boyfriend, who's given us a lot of information about her actions that day. She was when she got back from the shootings. Basically, she had some derogatory comments that she made about both of her ex-husbands. So whatever.
We got to think about why would the living boyfriend be talking? Oh, I think he's very, very scared, right? He's like, I'm going to tell him everything because she needs to stay behind bars. If she's coming home, like saying, if anything happens to me, just know that I love you. And he's like, what? Like, why is she saying that? And then that afternoon, she comes back in a gray sweatshirt and climbs into the shower fully clothed. And while she's saying derogatory things about her ex-husband, and then he finds out, holy crap, you shot one of them. Allegedly, she's accused of, oh my word, both of them? That must be so scary, right? True Crime with a Sarge, thank you for being here. You said snarky. Objection Cake says, gee, thank you for another year of hard work, delivering with love to victims and no drama. Wishing all the Grizzlies wonderful holidays. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm very, very glad living boyfriend, that's the boyfriend, yeah, she was literally living with this guy, is talking to the police. He's saying everything he possibly knows and can say about her demeanor that day and everything that she had said leading up to this, right?
We need from her living boyfriend, who's given us a lot of information about her attitude that day. She was, when she got back from the shootings, basically she had some derogatory comments that she made about both of her ex-husbands. So whatever mindset she was in at the time is still not known to us, why she chose this day.
This case now spreads multiple counties. How do you work in partnership with Citrus or with Tampa here?
We have great detectives, and we work with these agencies all the time, and we work very well together. So, we will let the Tampa detectives do their investigations. We will work ours independently, and then we will communicate with each other if they need something from us or we need something from them. Citrus County, I want to thank Sheriff Benson for his team, because they were ready to assist us. They were there with their SWAT team in case we needed to go in and search the residence. So we still have to search the vehicle, which is still in Citrus County. So we've got the search warrant in hand for that. So we have not found the murder weapon yet. So that's our goal right now, is to try to gather all the evidence that's inside that vehicle.
Anything else, Sharon?
Whatever y'all need.
And that was that for the press conference. Wow. So that's what we know so far, and it's absolutely horrifying. I mean, those children, I don't know their ages, especially because, they're not even saying the victims' names publicly. That's what the sheriff said, according to Marcy's law, to protect the children. So in order to then protect the children, they also wouldn't be like, okay, the children are this age, whatever. But if you really wanted to, if you were curious and wanted to go down a rabbit hole a little bit, you don't have to dig too far to find Susan Avalon's profile on Facebook, and you can see that she's got some pictures with her children, which I thought maybe she had like 4 children, but apparently she either has 5 or 7. And just what a way to ruin their lives, their holidays. You took their dads away, the dads who had custody of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're their mother, so now they have no mom or dad. And I don't know if the ex-husbands got remarried. I don't know anything like that. I haven't heard any such thing. I haven't heard of, like, you know, new wives or anything. So
Right.
what if the kids were just with the dads? Now they lost their primary and only caregiver. And they'll probably end up with DCF or something. That's just so sad, right? Janine said 13 may be unlucky for some, but not when you're not when you're a grizzly. Happy solstice. Thank you so much, Janine. Now, if you guys want to see me more today, live again, I'm going to be live on Vinnie Politan's channel. That's not on Court TV, it's on his own channel, right? So Vinnie Politan 1 is at Vinnie Politan 1 is his handle. And I'm sure you guys are aware of his own channel. And I'm going to be there at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for his Christmas show or holiday show. I'll be their first guest. So if you guys want to see me later, I'll be over there. I will definitely keep you posted on this case because, as I say, I'm sure a lot more will come out. I'm sure there will be documents, body cam, maybe a police interview. Was she dumb enough to talk, you know what I mean? Or did she lawyer up immediately? She should, but you know what I mean? Sometimes they're like, oh, I'm going to talk. Remember, like Jessie Khrushchevsky, she talked for like 8 interviews long. Or some of the others we've seen, they just talk and talk and talk and talk themselves into the ground. So hopefully this one talked to the police a lot, and we're going to want to see her police interviews as well and snark at her. I mean, think of the children. What are you doing? Really? Also, maybe over because you have to pay $200, otherwise your driver's license will be suspended. Wow, I don't know. Make a plan. Not that plan. That's not the plan to make. Definitely not, right? Panic at the Discord says, so she shot the second ex first, yes, while their minor children were in school. Seems so, yes. So they didn't say where all the children were at the time, but the sheriff pointed out that's so brazen of her because the children were going to come home from school around that time. So, yeah. Dear Liesel said, poor Gisela has to start an interview at 1 a.m. It's not an interview, it's a party. Okay, I'm joining Vinnie Politan's party, and I'm their first guest, so I'm very excited. It doesn't matter if it's 1 a.m. I'm kind of nocturnal, especially by now, right? So I'll see you all over there. Thank you so much for following this case with me. I will keep you posted. In the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful, whatever time it is for you, afternoon, evening, all of that. Thank you so much to everyone who's still spoiling myself and the mods with coffees, PayPals, all the support, Patreon, everything that you do, become a member, whatever it is. I really, really, I see you and I appreciate you so much. And I will see you again very soon. I'm seeing you over the holidays, okay? Make sure you subscribe, notifications on. I'm not going anywhere. So you've got plans, okay? If you thought you didn't have plans, you have plans. You're booked, okay, for December. Okay, bye.
I thank y'all for being here. I'll see y'all later. Peace.